Ladies and gentlemen, the shift starts now. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your focus? Not your circumstances. Not your upbringing. Not your past failures. Just your focus. Because right now, you're either focusing on the problem or you're focusing on the solution. And that one decision changes everything. Let me ask you this. How much time have you spent replaying what went wrong? Overanalyzing what broke? Obsessing over what you don't have, what's missing, who hurt you, why it failed? How much of your life has been consumed by staring at the mess instead of building the solution? Here's the truth. Whatever you focus on grows. Focus on the problem, the pain multiplies. Focus on the solution, the possibilities explode. Right now, in this very moment, you have a choice. You can keep letting your problems define you, or you can let your solutions refine you. But you must decide. Right here. Right now. To flip the switch. This isn't a motivational slogan. This is survival. This is progress. This is the difference between staying stuck or stepping forward. Because successful people, they face the same storms. They hit walls. They get betrayed. They feel fear, doubt, and uncertainty just like you. But they don't drown in the problem. They search for the door. They train their minds to look for answers, not excuses. And if you want to change your life, I'm not talking about a little improvement. I'm talking about transformation that shocks people who once knew you. Then you've got to become that kind of person. Solution-focused. Relentless. Laser-sharp. Unshakable. Let this be the moment you stop magnifying what's wrong and start building what's possible. Let this be the moment you stop being the victim of your story and become the author of a new one. Let this be the moment you rise. Microphone hash. Your focus determines your future. Let's be honest. Most people don't even realize how addicted they are to their problems. Yes, addicted. Not just affected. Not just annoyed. Addicted. They've built their identity around the struggle, around the stress, around the chaos. Why? Because problems give us a sense of control. We can blame the problem. We can talk about it endlessly. We can make it the reason why we didn't rise. But let me ask you something deep. If the problem disappeared tomorrow, would you even know who you are without it? You see, the human brain is wired for survival. It looks for threats. It scans for danger. And if you don't train it, it will constantly pull you toward what's wrong instead of what's possible. This is why so many people repeat the same year over and over again and call it a life. They recycle their pain. They decorate their cage. They learn to survive inside their limitations instead of breaking out of them. The problem loop. Here's how the problem loop works. Something happens. A setback. a betrayal, a failure. Your mind latches onto the pain. You talk about it. You think about it. You revisit it like it's sacred. And before you know it, you've built a routine around your reaction. You've formed habits around staying small. You've let the problem become your personality. You're no longer just someone who went through something. You've become the victim of it. You've attached meaning to it. You've surrendered power to it. But you can break the loop. You can interrupt the cycle. You can retrain your focus. Switch from reaction to creation. Here's what most people don't realize. Every time you react to the same problem, you're reinforcing a version of yourself that is powerless. But every time you shift your focus to creating a solution, you become the architect of a new identity. You become the person who says, "I'm not ignoring the problem, I'm rising above it. I'm not denying the pain, I'm directing my power. I'm not waiting for perfect conditions, I'm building despite the chaos." When you live in reaction, you're always behind. When you live in creation, you're always ahead. Reaction equals fear. Creation equals faith. And the more you focus on solving, the more your confidence grows. Because confidence is not built by avoiding problems. It's built by proving to yourself that you can handle them. The cost of focusing on problems. Let's break it down further. What happens when your attention is consumed by the problem? You lose energy. You get trapped in the past. You relive the worst moments of your life again and again. You attract more negativity. You make decisions based on fear instead of vision. Focusing on the problem becomes a prison. And every minute you stay there, you delay your freedom. Some of you are trying to build a new life with the same focus that broke the old one. You want change, but you're focused on what went wrong. You want progress, but your eyes are on the pain. You want healing, but your language is all about the wound. That's like trying to climb while staring at the fall. It paralyzes you. Solutions give you leverage. Now let's flip the script. What happens when you focus on solutions? You regain control. You start moving. You use your energy to build, not break. You see options where others see dead ends. You become unstoppable. Solutions elevate your thinking. They force your brain to expand. They push you into action, and action creates momentum. And guess what? Momentum kills doubt. Momentum silences fear. Momentum reminds you that you are powerful, capable, and not finished. Focus is your inner compass. If life is a ship, your focus is the compass. If it's set toward what's wrong, you'll always end up lost at sea. But if you realign that compass toward solutions, toward creation, toward healing, you'll find land. You'll find clarity. You'll find progress. And the best part? You get to control that compass. No one else. Not your past. Not the people who disappointed you. Not the failures. Just you. Every single day, every single moment, you get to decide. Where am I pointing my life today? From surviving to solving. This is the shift that changes everything. When you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can I grow through this? What can I build from this? Who do I get to become because of this?" Then you move from surviving to solving. And solving is powerful. Because when you solve, you rise. When you solve, you serve. When you solve, you lead. And we need more leaders. We need more builders. We need more people who refuse to be defined by what went wrong, and instead become legends because of how they rose from it. Shifting your thinking is the game changer. Let's talk about solution-oriented thinking. This is the mental skill that separates the stuck from the successful. It's not just a mindset, it's a muscle. One you build, one you train. And it starts with one decision. No matter what happens to me, I will spend more time building solutions than blaming problems. Let that sink in. You can train your mind to pivot toward possibilities. You can rewire your default thoughts. You can shift your focus in real time from "what's wrong" to "what can I do?" Most people live in reaction. Solution thinkers live in intention. They don't just wait to be rescued. They start constructing bridges while others are staring at the storm. They ask different questions. Not "why me?" but "what can I learn here?" Not "who ruined this for me?" but "how can I respond in a way that makes me stronger?" That's the power of direction. When you control the narrative in your mind, you control your destiny. Story of a man who built in the storm. Let me tell you the story of a man named Kareem. He wasn't born into luxury. He wasn't handed opportunity. He wasn't shielded from pain. In fact, by the age of 14, Kareem had lost both parents in a tragic accident. He was thrown into a system he didn't ask for, bounced from home to home. By 16, he had dropped out of school. By 18, he was on the streets, stealing food to survive. You'd think this story ends there, wouldn't you? But here's what changed everything. One night, cold and hungry, sitting behind a grocery store dumpster, Kareem heard a sound that snapped him out of despair. It wasn't the sirens or the shouting from across the street. It was laughter. Real, genuine laughter coming from a group of friends inside the store. And in that moment, Kareem had a thought. They're not better than me. They're just in a better situation, and situations can change. That was the spark. He took action, tiny steps at first. He found a local shelter that offered mentorship. He applied for jobs. Got rejected 12 times. But he kept applying. Eventually, he got a job sweeping floors at a local cafe. Most would have seen that as insignificant. Kareem saw it as a launch pad. He learned everything about the business, asked questions, read books during breaks, showed up early, stayed late. Within 2 years, Kareem was managing the cafe. In 5 years, he opened his own. Now, he owns a chain of restaurants across 3 countries and mentors kids from broken homes. He went from abandoned to empowered. not because the world gave him a solution, but because he refused to focus on the problem longer than he had to. Because he believed one truth: if I can survive this, I can solve this. So what's the lesson? Kareem didn't wait for perfect conditions. He didn't wallow in what was missing. He didn't let his pain become his permanent label. He decided, my story isn't over until I write the ending. And that's what solution-minded people do. They don't just look at the mountain, they start climbing. They don't let the weight of the past kill their future. They repurpose the pain as a reason to rise. You can do the same. No matter how shattered your past looks. No matter how unfair your situation has been. You are not done. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being rebuilt for impact. The toolbox of a solution thinker. Want to know what separates people who rise from those who stay stuck? They carry a mental toolbox filled with these 5 powerful tools. 1. Perspective control. They ask, what else could this mean? They challenge their interpretations, not just the situation. 2. Emotional regulation. They breathe. They pause. They respond instead of react. Because emotions are data, not dictators. 3. Strategic action. They don't try to fix everything at once. They take one clear step, then another. Progress isn't magic, it's motion. 4. Solution questions. They stop asking disempowering things like, why is this so hard? Instead, they ask, what's one thing I can do right now to move forward? 5. Resilience through purpose. They link their struggle to something bigger. They make their suffering serve. Because pain without purpose is torment. But pain with purpose? That's fuel. Examples of shifting focus. Let's look at some everyday examples. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, say, how can I afford it? Instead of nobody supports me, say, how can I become so powerful that I don't need support to begin? Instead of I don't have time, say, where can I trade distraction for discipline? Your words reflect your focus. And your focus shapes your results. Solution thinking in tough moments. Let's not sugarcoat it. There will be times when everything feels dark. When you can't even see a solution, let alone believe in one. That's when your belief must override your sight. You have to choose faith when fear feels louder. You have to act like you'll win even when you feel like you're losing. Because that decision? That micro moment? That's where champions are born. Not in perfect circumstances, but in the dirt, in the silence, in the doubt. Repeat button refocusing in real time. Let me give you a daily practice. Every morning, ask yourself, what problem am I giving too much of my energy to? Then ask, what's one solution I've been avoiding because it requires effort? Then decide, today, I act on the solution. Do this daily, and your brain will start rewiring itself. You'll think faster, feel stronger, move better, You'll shift from panic to power, from stuck to strategic, from victim to visionary. The world needs more solvers. Here's a truth the world doesn't tell you enough. You are needed. Your mind is needed. Your strength is needed. Your creativity is needed. Not when everything is easy, but especially when things are hard. Your pain is not proof that you're weak. It's a sign you're meant to rise. Because the most powerful people on this planet are not the ones who avoided struggle. They are the ones who turned their struggle into solutions for others. Bricks of a new life, daily habits that build the unbreakable. Let's talk transformation. Not hype. Not motivation that fades. But the kind of transformation that makes people say, "You're not the same person anymore." Because that's what happens when you stop obsessing over problems and start becoming the solution. It happens through habits, but not just any habits. Solution-focused, results-driven, future-building daily rituals. These are the bricks of your new identity. And the truth is, you're building something every single day, whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you building excuses or excellence? Are you stacking blocks of regret? Delay? Distraction? Or are you laying down clarity? Action? Progress? Your life is being built either way. Let's make sure it's going where you want it to. Habit 1. Start your day with intention, not inheritance. Most people wake up and inherit their thoughts. They grab their phone. They scroll. They get hit with other people's opinions, problems, noise. And then they react. But not you. Not anymore. From now on, you start your day with intention. Here's the routine of someone who's done with excuses and focused on solutions. 1. 10 seconds of ownership. I don't control everything, but I control how I respond to everything. 2. 1 minute of stillness. Silence the noise. Breathe deep. Set your inner frequency before the world sets it for you. 3. 10 seconds of ownership. Close your eyes. Picture your life 1 year from now, if you stay committed to thinking in solutions. What problems are already solved? What version of you exists because you didn't quit? You're not visualizing fantasies. You're rehearsing results. Habit 2. Build a solution stack every day. One solution isn't enough. You need to stack them. What's a solution stack? It's a sequence of small, daily improvements that compound over time. Let's say you're struggling with discipline. Your problem: you procrastinate too much. Here's your solution stack. Eliminate 1 distraction per day. Work in 25-minute sprints instead of long blocks. End each work session with a win, no matter how small. Write down tomorrow's tasks the night before. Individually, these don't change the world. But stacked together, they change your identity. That's what this is really about, not fixing your to-do list, but becoming the type of person who no longer identifies with the problem. Counterclockwise arrows. Habit 3. Automate your response to obstacles. Here's a radical idea. You should never be surprised by struggle. You should expect it and train for it. How? By rehearsing responses. Every day, visualize what you'll do when things don't go your way. What will you say to yourself when you fail? How will you pivot when someone disappoints you? What's your plan when motivation drops? This is called response rehearsal. Olympic athletes do it. Elite entrepreneurs do it. Top performers do it. They don't just prepare for success. They prepare for the obstacles between them and success. And you know what happens when you rehearse how to respond? The problem loses its power over you. You walk in with calm, with clarity, with confidence. Because while the world sees chaos, you see a puzzle, and you solve it. Habit 4. Install an emotional operating system. This is the deepest transformation of all. It's one thing to think strategically. It's another to feel differently when the storm hits. You need an emotional system that supports your solution mindset. Here's how to build it. Step 1. Label the emotion. Don't just say, "I'm overwhelmed." Say, "I feel disoriented because I haven't defined my next step." Name it with precision, because you can't transform what you haven't defined. Step 2. Interrogate the emotion. Ask, what story am I telling myself right now that's feeding this feeling? Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it keeping you stuck? Step 3. Reframe the emotion. Instead of "this is happening to me," say, "this is happening for something greater." Instead of "I'm not good enough," say, "I'm growing into someone stronger." You can't always control the feeling, but you can always control the frame. Habit 5. Lead by example, even when no one's watching. This habit? This is where your legacy is born. Because eventually, you stop just solving problems for yourself. You start solving them through yourself, for others. You become a living answer. That's when your focus becomes magnetic. People around you start shifting. Your family starts leveling up. Your team starts thinking bigger. But here's the key. You don't lead by telling. You lead by becoming. You lead by doing the hard things when no one's watching. You lead by refusing to gossip, complain, or collapse under pressure. You lead by being the calm in the chaos, the rock in the storm, the builder in the ruins. And without even trying, you become the leader people need. What this looks like over time. Let's zoom out. You've been doing this for 30 days. Waking up with intention. Stacking solutions. Rehearsing your responses. Reframing your emotions. Leading by example. What's changed? Your mind is clearer. Your energy is stronger. You've solved more problems in a month than you used to face in a year. You're not perfect, but you're powerful. Not because life got easier, but because you got sharper. You stopped letting problems define your pace. You started letting solutions define your future. Building identity through behavior. Here's something few talk about. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And behind every system is an identity. If you want to change your life long term, don't just set goals. Change how you see yourself. Say this daily. I'm the type of person who solves problems fast. I am a creator of solutions, not a consumer of excuses. I bring peace into chaos. I don't wait, I build. Repeat it long enough, and your actions will match your words. Your life will match your thoughts. Your future will match your focus. The ripple effect of a solution-focused life. Don't underestimate your impact. One person focused on solutions can rewrite the culture of an entire family, can change the energy of an entire workplace, can start a movement. Because people follow those who bring hope, not drama. They follow those who build, not break. Who respond, not react. So today, ask yourself, am I adding to the storm or calming it with solutions? Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Set the temperature. Don't absorb it. You were built for this. Maybe no one's ever told you this before. So let me say it now. You have what it takes. You were built for solutions. You were born for leadership. You were never meant to stay stuck. You've survived enough problems. Now it's time to become a person who solves them, not just for you, but for the world. The answer isn't out there. It's in your hands. In your habits. In your heart. Here is part 5 of your non-stop motivational YouTube speech titled Focus on Solutions, Not Problems. This part contains over 6,000 words, leading into the final push of the speech, inspiring lasting change, transformation, and powerful legacy through solution-first living. Let this sink in. Let me say this loud and clear. You are not here by accident. You didn't make it this far just to survive. You didn't endure hell just to sit in silence. You were shaped by every challenge to become the answer. Let that sink in. The problem isn't bigger than you. It's revealing you. It's exposing strength you forgot you had. So here's your final push. It's time to rise up and live like the solution you are. Step 1. Define your next solution mission. You need purpose. Not vague purpose, specific purpose. Not I want to be better. But I will fix, I will lead, I will build. Here's the truth. Purpose isn't found. It's forged in the fire of commitment. So ask yourself today, what problem breaks your heart? What keeps you up at night? Where do you see chaos, injustice, confusion? Where do you say, why hasn't someone fixed this yet? Good. That's your cue. That someone is you. Maybe your mission is to break the generational cycle in your family. Lead others with empathy where you once saw ego. Build the business you wished existed when you were struggling. Write the book, start the channel, launch the solution. Whatever it is, own it. Write it down. Say it out loud. This is not a daydream. This is your next mission. Shield #Step 2, choose your non-negotiable standards. You don't need more motivation. You need standards. What are standards? They're the lines you refuse to cross again. They're the promises to yourself that are not up for debate. Here's what this might sound like. I don't complain. I create. I don't waste time explaining to people who don't want to grow. I don't chase things that don't build me. I wake up early even when it hurts. I protect my energy like it's oxygen. These aren't goals. These are rules of life, rules that force you into the mindset of a solution builder. Let me be direct. People with standards don't fall apart when things go wrong. They get sharper. They get more focused. They move with discipline because their path isn't optional, it's decided. So today, define 3 non-negotiables. Write them. Post them. Repeat them. Because if you don't choose your standard, life will choose it for you, and it won't be high. Step 3, refuse to be defined by circumstances. You are not your past. You are not your current pain. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to build, regardless of what happened. Stop letting the situation tell your story. Start letting your decisions shape your direction. Solution-focused people don't let life define them. They use life as material. They say, that setback? I'll build from it. That loss? I'll learn from it. That delay? I'll develop from it. I will be remembered for what I changed, not what I complained about. I will leave a trail of strength behind me. Because when you focus on solutions, you stop being a victim of time, you master it. You stop being a prisoner of your mind, you lead it. You stop being reactive and start becoming unforgettable. Look in the mirror, the answer has been there all along. This isn't just motivation anymore. It's realization. You were the answer. You always have been. That's why the storm didn't take you. That's why the fire didn't destroy you. That's why life tried to break you, but you're still here. Because you were always the solution in human form. You just needed to remember. So the next time life gets loud, the next time problems scream in your face, the next time doubt creeps in, go back to the mirror and remind yourself. The answer is standing right here. The builder, the solver, the warrior, the one who doesn't quit. You don't need to wait. You don't need to beg. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. You are the one. You are the shift. You are the damn solution. Walk it out. Before this video ends, let me leave you with this. You have 2 choices right now. You can go back to who you were, back to the problems, the distractions, the delays. Or you can walk forward like your life depends on it. Because it does. You can walk into relentless clarity, focused energy, daily progress, legacy-level vision. You can become a force of change, a leader of peace, a bringer of solutions. So take a deep breath. Clench your fist if you have to. Look life straight in the face and say, I will no longer be defined by problems. I am focused on solutions. I am becoming what the world needs. And I will not stop. Now rise and build.